What is going on YouTube? I am excited because today I am kicking off a two-part series here on the channel on beef. Now my friends over at the Beef Checkoff invited me to share some of my favorite recipes that include beef, and since y'all follow me on, or hopefully you follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, you know this series is going to be a piece of cake because I eat beef on a regular basis because it is a proven source of high quality protein, so I can keep on chasing the gains. Before we hop into today's video, I want to take the chance to answer one of the frequently asked questions that I get when it comes to beef. Now, my go-to sources for lean beef are going to be ground beef, at least 93%, and flank steak. In my experience, flank steak always comes out perfect. It's tender, it's flavorful, and most of all, it's lean, so it's a total win. Now, for today's video, we are making beefy steak tomatoes, or AKA stuffed tomatoes. Did you get the joke though? You know, the beef steak tomatoes are like really big, like the really big ones, the beef steak. And since we're gonna be putting beef inside of it, it's gonna be beefy steak tomatoes. Well, you get it later. But anyway, this is a simple recipe that I came up with that's easy to customize. This recipe is also all about texture. We're gonna have the creaminess of the baked tomato, we got the heartiness of the beef and the quinoa inside, and then we're gonna top it all off with Parmesan cheese, which is going to create this nice crispy crust on the outside. Is your mouth watering yet? It will be very soon. All right, guys, if you're ready to get your hands dirty, then let's get started. First, let's chop off the top of the tomato and use a spoon or a grapefruit knife to carve out the inside. Now once it's done, it should look like this. Remember guys, we are minimizing food waste, so we're gonna save this tomato pulp and we're gonna use some of it later on in the recipe, and you can use the rest of it for another recipe, like your own homemade marinara. Add olive oil to a nonstick skillet, and we're gonna cook garlic until it turns slightly brown, then toss in red onion and bell pepper. Cook for about 3 minutes and then toss in the lean ground beef. Now we're gonna chop and stir the beef and veggies, and then give it some personality with some cayenne, sea salt, and pepper. Let's cook this down for another few minutes, then add in cooked quinoa, about half of the tomato pulp, tomato sauce, and fresh basil. Stir it up and let it cook together for another 3 to 5 minutes. Before stuffing the tomatoes and adding them to the baking dish, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab some aluminum foil and we're gonna make a ring out of it. And then we're gonna place the tomatoes on top. And this will prevent the tomatoes from spilling over and falling over while they're baking. Next, let's stuff the tomatoes. No worries if you have some stuffing left over. You can eat it by itself, or you can go into the fridge and grab an extra bell pepper and stuff that too. Then top them off with reduced fat Parmesan cheese. Bake these in the oven for at least 20 minutes at 400. And then you have delicious beefy steak tomatoes or stuffed tomatoes to enjoy for dinner. To get the full recipe, check out fitmencook.com, and remember to download the Fit Men Cook app for more easy, healthy, practical meals.